What's up, everyone? Welcome back to another exciting episode of the Pourcast. This is episode number 3. Get ready to tantalize your taste buds with a sizzling new episode of the Pourcast featuring the culinary geniuses behind Dang Burger. Based out of the sunny town of Carpinteria, these buddies are on a mission to serve up mouth-watering smash burgers and fries that will have your cravings going wild in both Santa Barbara and Ventura County. Taking it back to the basics, Dang Burger is all about bringing the community a classic California cheeseburger that hits all the right spots. Picture this: juicy ground chuck, melty American cheese, fresh tomato, onion, shredded lettuce, tangy pickles, and a special sauce that's nestled between 2 perfectly toasted buns. Are you drooling yet? But wait, there's more. Dang Burger is all about inclusivity, offering a delectable vegan burger for all of our plant-based pals. So whether you're a meat lover or a veggie enthusiast, there's a Dang Burger with your name on it. Join us as we dig into the juicy details of Dang Burger's mouth-watering creations, their journey as a culinary entrepreneurs, and the secret behind their finger-licking success. Get ready to have your taste buds blown away and your cravings fully satisfied as we dive into the delectable world of Dang Burger with our incredible guests, Gil and Emery. I appreciate you guys being here, joining me in my garage.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no, I'm really excited. You guys are very funny off camera. We've already been joking for like the last 20 minutes, and I think it's going to be a really funny episode.
Shooting the breeze.
Yeah, no, shooting the breeze. Yeah. So welcome to the show, guys. I appreciate this. This is very exciting for me. We're in our official setup now. Yeah. There's going to be obviously a couple more additions, but I'm very happy to have the first official episode like in the garage where it should be, in the studio now.
It's a beautiful garage, beautiful space here, you know.
I appreciate that, man. It's been fun. This is like, actually, you had mentioned earlier, this is the house that I grew up in, so it's kind of cool to see it come full circle. Even when me and my bro moved back in, we still see our handprints in the concrete back there. It's 2002, and I'm like, oh shit, that was 20 years ago.
And then off camera, the people can't see this, but there's a massive jacuzzi that stretches about 40 feet into the driveway. That's
very palatial, right?
That's pretty impressive. Quite the baller spot you got here.
So you got a little mansion here.
Okay,
little Carpinteria, big mansion.
Didn't know that. Jeez.
Well, again, thank you guys for being here. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm excited to ask you guys some questions about your journey thus far and see kind of how it's been developing and kind of where you guys are at now. I actually moved away, and when I was away, I had heard about you starting the burger business. Our mutual friend Nolan had told me multiple times, like they're doing pop-up shops, they're going to all these spots, and they're selling their burgers until they sell out. And you have consistently been selling out of your burgers. Is that pretty on point?
We definitely try. I mean, the pop-up format's weird because you can only bring so many things, and I think people think we're like, why aren't you bringing more meat or whatever? It's like, we only got like 2 cars. Like, can't fit that many things in it. Like, we'll pack our coolers with as much stuff as we can, and then whatever we have, and sometimes we've gone to the store to get more, but yeah, we typically,
Is that a good thing though, when you guys are like, okay, we're getting low, we should probably do a store run and just make sure we restock on some stuff?
I mean, usually, I don't know. Like at that point,
if we do a store run, it's usually because we've sold more burgers than we have meat left.
Yeah.
Because we made a little accounting error.
Okay. So because the patties obviously you guys make, right? And so if you guys are going to the store, it's for buns, for lettuce, for tomatoes, or something like that.
It's usually the meat. We always have enough like lettuce and tomatoes and buns, but meat's the most expensive and it takes up the most space. And we also go to like a nice butcher in Santa Paula, so we're like we're not gonna want to go to like Smart and Final and get like some ground beef.
Yeah,
it's like, but if we have to, we've done that before, like last minute. But
if you guys were to run out of burgers or meat, and you were to go to the store and you bring them back, how would you do it? Is it ground beef and you guys kind of
just ball it up real quick.
Yeah, ball it up real quick. You have somebody just patting it out, a little taco style.
I mean, at that point, it's like, we're already like getting our ass kicked for like 2 hours, and we're like, all right, well, let's just sell these burgers.
Yeah, let's get these out of here, huh?
Yeah, we're waiting quite a while.
With you guys selling out of certain materials, obviously burgers, do people get upset have you experienced that where they're kind of like, what are you guys doing showing up at a pop-up shop and running out?
Yeah.
People are usually pretty nice in person, and then every once in a while you get like a negative Yelp review or something.
That's with any business, I feel like, though. There's always going to be a hater.
Yeah. I mean, like, just working in, like, the hospitality industry, like, there's always, like, that one person that just kind of makes your life shitty.
Yeah.
But for the most part, everyone's pretty understanding. And then I'm from Carp, Emery's from SB, so it's like that, you know, is kind of immediately involved us in the community just because of growing up here.
Yeah.
So people are pretty nice to us, but yeah, there's always like that one person that can be upset.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So speaking of that, you're from Carp, we're both from Carp, and that you're from Santa Barbara. I'm sure, again, both of us, Santa Barbara, we're all in the same community.
Yeah, I grew up with your cousins.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So we're all family, we're all here. But how did you two meet?
We were both living in SF. I was going to school, and Emery was just selling surfboards.
He was what?
It was selling
I had dropped
surfboards.
out of college at that point.
But we were both playing music and playing in bands. And I think this is up for debate, but our band opened for his
band opened for ours.
Yeah, vice versa. Whatever, may have been. But anyways, we, like pre-show, we were like talking like, oh, you're from SB, you're from Carp. And then kind of developed like a friendship and then became, best buds.
And then when did you come back to Santa Barbara or Carp? And when did you come back to Santa Barbara or Carp? Like same time, or was it same time?
We moved together. We still live together.
Yeah, we moved. we were
crazy.
We were in LA at the time, and then we moved in together in Ventura 3 years ago.
Yeah,
or so.
It was like COVID started, and then we all kind of like lost our jobs, and then we're like, oh, like LA already kind of like was sucking before COVID.
Yeah.
Not like LA's bad, but just like we're all kind of getting burnt out on it.
Hating on LA.
we're just like working a lot and like commuting far to our jobs, and then COVID happened and we like lost our job, and we're like, let's just move closer back to like where we're from. So we moved to Ventura, and then kind of slowly.
We're at in Ventura.
Just off of Poli and Oak.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you were there for how long?
We were there for like a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that's cool. I like Ventura. I wanted to move to Oxnard Shores. I like that area over in there.
Sick.
Yeah. I mean, it's still close enough to home, but you're still away.
Yeah. I was like, I'm just gonna live in Ventura. Like, I don't want to move back to Carp.
Yeah.
And then, sure enough, it's like a magnet. You kind of just eventually.
The older you get, you're like, damn, Carp's actually pretty sick.
I don't know. I was like hating on it my whole life.
Slowly
like, I was like,
scoot back closer.
Yeah.
The quality of life here is just like so high, and then I don't know, just the people here are great too. So it's just like it's hard to beat it.
Go ahead, Emery.
Oh, just as you get older too, and you're like going out less, it's like being in Carp or Santa Barbara doesn't sound so bad.
Like a nice quieter spot, because even
Yeah.
Santa Barbara, it's cool, but it's still busy, and there's still people coming from out of town and stuff.
Yeah.
Like Carp is like low key small town that you're able to kind of like again just walk around town, and it's super mellow. There's not a whole lot going on, so it's every day is almost very like just vibey, just kind of nothing crazy. Avocado Festival and the fair, St. Joseph's Fair, is probably like the two things that go on. Other than that, it's been pretty mellow, but
No, it's great. It's beautiful too. It's always nice,
Yeah. So again, you said COVID kind of kickstarted the move, but what had made you decide that you were going to start selling burgers?
Well, like before COVID, I was like always cooking a lot, like at home. And then I don't know, like for some reason I was kind of into like just cheeseburgers in general. And like, I think growing up in Carp, like too, there was like Cavalli's, there was like the Spot, the Hot Spot, and, like Foster's. So I just like grew up like just kind of eating cheeseburgers, like as like a snack after school or like after like baseball game, whatever. So I just always kind of loved them. And then there's kind of the whole smash burger craze going around, and I started making them for friends and stuff like that. And then COVID happened, and then I think we invested like our unemployment check to buy a griddle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
that's what's up though.
Yeah.
That again,
Yeah.
you said it invested.
Yeah.
You didn't just go waste money, because a lot of people were just getting the COVID checks and just buying dumb shit.
Yeah.
And you're like, hey, if I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna get a good equipment.
yeah, I think Emery got it.
I remember Gil, I think, I don't think you ever collected unemployment.
I
Right?
never did. I got like weirdly not laid off, but like my hours got reduced and my pay got reduced, and I was like, this seems like illegal.
What place was that? No.
This is bad timing.
Yeah. So I quit. I was like, well, like, fuck this. I'm not going to like work for less money and less hours. Like, I can't live like that. So I quit and I didn't get unemployment. And then I moved back and I was like scrambling, like, fuck, I need a job. And like nothing's hiring. So I started doing like plumbing for like 6 months. And I was like, ugh, like this is kind of gnarly.
Yeah, plumbing is super gnarly.
And I'm not a plumber. So like I just started like digging holes, you know?
Oh yeah, hey, dig this trench. We got to
Yeah.
run fucking 10 feet of pipe, and you're like,
like-
laborer. You were a laborer.
Yeah, I was
Mexican,
like 5 feet down, and I'm like, okay, it's pretty far. I'm 6 feet tall. Like,
And it's super hot today,
Yeah.
but get at it. Huh?
yeah, I was like, okay, and like have it done by lunch. I'm like, all right, that's in like 3 hours.
Yeah. Here's a
lot
little
of digging.
shovel. Get at it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
like, so like, you know, when this is happening, Wyatt and Emery were like unemployed, and I think were the ones that bought the griddle and the fryer.
We should probably say that Gil's twin brother was a part of Dang Burger with us when it started for the first couple of years. And eventually, you know, he got a better job than we had money wise, and decided he didn't want to participate any longer, which is
he was
understandable.
Yeah.
He was burnt out with it, which, you know, we get. Pop-ups are not fun really, but
They're a schlep.
It's a lot of work, and I mean I can relate. I would say technically the events that I do for bartending are pop-ups, because you're going to a new venue, a new spot.
Right.
You have to bring all your shit. The only thing you have that's consistent is your materials and your equipment, and you know how to load your car, but you're pulling up to a new spot most of the time.
Break
Yeah.
down, clean up,
Yeah.
do all the prep.
and it's not like you're a restaurant where you can have like food delivered to you like from purveyors and stuff. Like you got to go to the butcher and get the meat. You got to drive everywhere to
Oxnard,
get everything.
pick up the buns.
So it's a lot of like schlepping and commuting and stuff. And then the food part's like the easy part. It's just like doing the setup and breakdown and all that, which is exhausting kind of.
So if you guys were to have an event, like let's say a pop-up this coming Saturday, obviously the event is Saturday, but how many days out would you be gathering materials and kind of, again, schlepping the stuff around and just gathering what you need, your inventory?
We try to do it like, I don't know, 2 days before.
Our butcher gets mad at us if we don't place our orders like a week out.
Oh, so he knows at least, because that way you can give him time to prepare it?
Yeah, and I mean, you know, order our buns and stuff a couple days before, and then pretty much pick it all up usually the day before,
Yeah, and prep.
and then prep that day, and maybe leave a little bit of prep like for the next morning
Yeah.
before the event.
Yeah.
And then just start packing up the cars and
But yeah, if like the next event, like the next day is at like 5 p.m., we start like pretty much loading up at like noon or 1, because it takes like 2-ish hours to load up. And then you always like, you'll load up the truck and then you'll be like, all right, what are we forgetting?
Yeah.
we definitely like
That's always the
Yeah.
worst feeling, is
Yeah.
you have everything loaded up, but you're also going, I feel like I'm forgetting something. What the fuck is it?
And
What
it's
the
like
fuck
something
is
that's
it?
so like small or something you wouldn't think about, but it's like really essential.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like,
something you can't get at the supermarket. down the
Yeah.
street. Like,
Or you got to
forgot-
sacrifice a body and send somebody, or you're like,
Yeah.
it's going to cost us
forgot
time.
salt.
Yeah. Fucking salt.
Yeah, like, damn it. But I don't know. It's a lot of like, loading things in our car. We have small like Priuses too. So it's
Both
like
of you,
Yeah,
Priuses.
both of Priuses.
I'm trying to sell mine, but not because I'm not Team Prius. Just, you know.
Emery's Prius is for sale. If you want to buy it,
Link in the description.
a little overpriced, but
The dang Prius.
yeah. So like with the griddle and all the coolers, like that's like not even enough space for our cars. We sometimes have to make like 2 trips.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking about that now that you said Prius, because you're like, it takes 2 carloads. I'm fortunate enough to have a Jeep where I'm like, I can fit a lot of shit. And then my business partner, he has a 4Runner, or his fiance has a 4Runner. So we have like 2 big cars, and we're able to move stuff. But you saying Priuses, I'm like, damn, how much can you really fit in that? Like, it is a little bubble.
I mean, they fit a lot. but,
Really?
like, we
Yeah.
went and we borrowed, like, for this last pop-up we did, because it was in Ventura. Like, 2 weeks ago, we did one in cart.
Uh-huh.
And we took maybe, like, 2 trips each to get there, and then, like, 3 trips each to get it all home.
Yeah.
And so, like, we had one in Ventura this past weekend. So I went and borrowed my dad's truck, and Gil borrowed his brother's truck.
There you go.
Yeah, and that
Man,
was
this is so much
that was
easier.
nice.
Yeah.
This is-
Yeah.
So you guys are thinking ahead and going, okay, we don't want to make 2 trips, 3 trips. Like
Yeah.
we got to bite the bullet on this one. And,
I mean, like, no knock on the Prius, but it's a great car. I mean,
it's turning into a Prius.
But it's just not like, I mean, it kind of is a truck in some ways when you put down the seats.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like, you can fit more than you
cool
think. And you put up the shotgun seat, like, all the way to the front. You're like, whoa, there's a lot of space in here.
Got a big surfboard Prius.
That's true. Yeah, that's true. That's very
I've
true.
slept in that Prius before. And I'm pretty tall.
Proud.
It's still, like, not enough. So, like, 2 trucks is pretty essential.
Yeah.
That's a lot better.
We don't have trucks. We have to, like, beg our, like, brothers or dad to, like, let us borrow their truck. And they're like, nope, sorry.
Maybe
usually they're like, they help us out if they can, but
maybe that's the next, again, step up is the elevation of that is, now we have trucks now. We have dang trucks or dang vans.
Yeah.
Like little chomo vans.
Van life.
Well, I guess we're bypassing that step altogether.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're kind of, I don't know how many more pop-ups we'll do, but we'll probably maybe do a couple more over summer. Who knows?
But you won't need to invest in a truck and a van because you'll have a brick and mortar spot.
Yeah, it seems like something like not worth like investing in, to where we're like, oh, we should get a truck because we're like, oh, we're gonna be open.
Yeah, you're gonna be commuting to work now rather than taking it with you. Yeah.
And that's always been like the battle for us. Like, oh, should we like make our pop-ups more baller and like get better gear and stuff? And it's like how much money do you actually want to put into your pop-up? Because it's like,
when that's not the end goal.
Like, unless you're like just committed to doing them, like, which we were for a while, but our end game was always like either get a brick and mortar or
we looked into the food truck for a while, but that's like kind of seems just like a continuation of the parts of this that we don't like doing.
Bigger truck, a lot of schlepping stuff.
A lot of dragging stuff around.
But you're a restaurant on wheels at that point, and so it's kind of nice. You don't necessarily, you do have to load, but it's like it's always there. Your setup is your setup.
And then if your stuff's in like a food truck too, it's like there's a lot of things in a food truck that could go wrong.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
so like
if you have an automobile and a kitchen in one.
Yeah, and like driving isn't like great for pipes and stuff, and like. I don't know. It just didn't seem like worth it to us to do it, and we always like wanted to get a brick and mortar.
Good. Well, congrats on that. That's happening soon. When is the official date of the brick and mortar? Like when you guys should be in there?
We don't have a date, but we.
Do you have an idea?
We're hoping like 3 or 4 months from now.
Okay.
So.
We just got our building permits actually an hour before we came in here.
Hey.
It's exciting. It's been a long battle. Just getting to that point, dealing with the city and health department. There's a lot of steps to get there, but finally there. We're stoked.
How did you guys come up with your name? I'm really curious about the name of it.
I don't even know.
I wish we had like the old handwritten list of all the names we were trying to come up with, because there were a lot of bad ones.
Yeah.
It was just kind of like.
Yeah, there's a lot of really bad ones.
The only one I remember was Schollburger. There were some other ones.
There was some that were like super like obviously just meant to be jokes to like make the person reading it laugh.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
You guys can still do that with menu items, which would be funny. But I get it.
But I think Dangber was just the one we like kind of hated the least, and it was like something like in our friend group we would always like kind of say like, "Oh dang," like, just talking like someone's talking to you like, "Dang, that's a cool story," or whatever. And then I don't know, it was kind of like a inside joke kind of thing. But.
Credit to Gil. I had suggested Gilburger.
Gilburger.
And he wasn't going for it.
I didn't want all the spotlight.
You want everybody eating you or what?
Yeah, I was like, it sounds kind of like a cannibalistic a little bit.
For those of you who don't know, you should check it out and see their logo. It's a little burger holding a flag with some eyes. He's your mascot, and I was curious to know if you guys had named him or if you have a name for him.
Because I don't think he ever had an official name.
You guys don't have a name for him? Because I look at that guy, and that guy's super cool. If you put him on a shirt, I'd rock him. You know what I mean? Like, that guy's
We
dope.
have shirts with that guy, and actually, we should have brought some in.
Man, you'll see me. They'll see me in a shirt.
I thought about it. I just forgot. I was like, oh, fuck. I always bad with the merch. But Emery drew that guy.
Yeah. No, I like the whole vibe. Again, it's very communal, like little.
Well, we were thinking, and because Gil's dad always calls us the dang burglars.
The dang burglars.
So maybe he's the dang burglar.
The dang burglar.
Yeah. And then the flag, initially when we first started doing it, we were like if we put like a little like toothpick with the flag, a triangle flag, and like that could be like our thing, like the triangle flag in the burger. And then we realized like no one really makes triangle flags.
Yeah. So hand cutting them.
Our first pop-up, we hand cut 200 toothpick square like rectangular flags into triangles. And I had my grandma doing it actually, because she was like, I want to help you guys out. And I was like, all right, start cutting flags. Man.
She's like, my hands hurt.
Yeah. And I felt so bad. I was like, this is such a dumb, unnecessary like thing we're doing. Like, it doesn't, no one really probably even cares. And it's like,
take it out and throw it away.
Yeah. It's like something that you just
we
throw
had
away.
a green flag in the veggie burger, a red flag in the single, and a black flag in the double.
Okay.
Yeah, it was gonna be kind of like an expoing thing too, where it's like that'll help you keep track of things.
Yeah.
Which is still, I think,
It's not a bad idea.
Revisit that idea.
Well, that's how a restaurant does it. And like, you guys are talking about putting it in the burger. And I'm like, oh yeah, like that's a thing. Like they market medium well, or like, oh, this one has no cheese or whatever. You know, like that is a way to do it. So you were on the right track, but you're just like, that was a lot of extra work cutting all those.
Yeah.
Just because I drew a logo with a triangle. I could have just drawn it with a rectangle flag.
And then I think for the pop-ups too, like the less you do, the better it goes. And I think that's something I feel like we learned the hard way.
Keep it
like,
simple.
we were trying to do so many things. We were like wrapping our cheeseburgers, like
we were
putting a toothpick in them, like just doing too many steps. And
we're so naive at the beginning. We're still naive, but we're,
Yeah, I mean, it's all learning. You guys have been doing it for 3 years now, though. So you guys, I'm sure, have learned a lot and said, like you said, keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't make more work for ourselves than we need to do.
Yeah. Figure out what steps you can take out without, like, sacrificing quality.
Yeah. 100%. 100%. As friends who have turned business partners, what key factors have contributed to your success and the growth of Dang Burger?
Well, I think it's just nice that we're friends, and there's always that to fall onto. And hopefully it doesn't. I don't think it will, but hopefully it doesn't damage our relationship. But I think if anything, it's just made us stronger friends and also partners, because like we've been friends for like, I don't know, 8 years now or something.
Okay.
And we've played in bands together, and we've done a lot of stuff together. So it's like we've lived together. We still live together. So it's like I don't know. It's a lot of like things we've gone through.
Well, yeah, we're both pretty good at like taking criticism and accepting feedback from each other, and not taking things personally, and I think that helps a lot.
Yeah. Well, and I mean, it's just interesting for me because I have a lot of friends, and I mean, I'm not bragging. No, I have a lot of friends. I have a lot of friends, and so many friends. Yeah. No, I have friends, and I'm sure you have a lot of friends, but I can only live with a few of my friends. You know what I mean? Like even some of my best friends, I can't live with because it's just a different vibe. Like we don't see eye to eye on a lot of things, and even more so when it comes to business, you're dealing with money and you're growing of the business. So you have a lot of decisions that need to be made that are kind of crucial and critical that you guys got to agree upon. Has there been any like disagreements where you guys are going, I think we should do this, and he thinks that we should be doing this, that you guys have to kind of compromise or say, hey, you know what, that might be the better idea?
Definitely. I think like we argue like an old married couple, honestly. I think in a good way. I feel like it used to be worse when we first started doing pop-ups. We were like, we're trying to figure out our systems. We're like, didn't always see eye to eye, but we kind of got past that. And then we have both like worked in restaurants since we started too, to like get a better
hone our craft.
Yeah.
That was another question of mine actually too, was I didn't know that either of you had restaurant backgrounds. Like, were you a chef or a line cook, and were you in the kitchen or a sous chef prepper, or like, I had no idea. I thought this kind of just came out of the blue, and you guys were like, we're selling burgers.
It did. I mean, I think you got a restaurant job after we started doing
like right when we
right?
Yeah, like right when we started, I was like, oh, like I should probably get like a restaurant job. Mm-hmm. So I just did, and then I started shucking oysters at the raw bar here in town at Little Dom's.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then
so now that you said that, somebody had told me that you were working at Little Dom's.
Yeah, and that was like kind of my intro. And I mean, I've done like catering and stuff before, but then like I quickly just like really loved it, and then we both actually applied to this job in Ojai, cooking out in Ojai, and then I did that for a year, and then quickly kind of just
went from there.
Got deeper into it. Actually, I got like promoted to like sous chef, which is like pretty like crazy for like just being in it so quickly.
Yeah, and you learned a lot, and it was like valuable experience over there.
Yeah, I mean, I learned so much, and I mean, I'm still learning. I'm by no means I wouldn't even say I'm like a chef. I would just say I'm just someone that's passionate about food. Mm-hmm. But yeah, learned a bunch, and I think a lot of people have taught me things along the way that it's been like really, really valuable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So perfect because that kind of leads into what I was going to ask you. Like, what challenges have you faced after going to the restaurant and then deciding you're doing it? What challenges is like? What have some of your biggest challenges been with the whole process so far?
Oh man, I mean, it's hard to say.
It's just different kinds of things, you know. Like when it was just pop-ups, it was all focused on, you know, how do we do this better? How do we do this faster? How do we get
efficiency
burgers out quicker when it's super busy?
Yeah, I think.
And then the challenges more recently have been like, how do we get a restaurant open, which is just like a totally different type of obstacle.
Will you go more into detail about opening the restaurant or how you guys landed your brick and mortar spot? Because was that even on the radar? Did you know it was going to happen? Were you approached or were you actively seeking out somewhere in Carpinteria?
It was kind of a mutual thing.
We were like actively for a while looking for a place to move in. And then Gil kind of out of that, we had a place fall through that we had like sunk some money and time into.
Here in Carp? Yeah.
Great people, love them.
Yeah.
But like it fell through and we were kind of like, I feel like we were in like sort of a purgatory state, and we had been doing pop-ups at like Brew Lab and Sunburst and Cork Tree and stuff. And then Gil like one day out of the blue was like, I'm going to call Ryan at Sunburst and like see if maybe they would be open to us moving into their kitchen. And I was like, yeah, I mean, you might as well.
Fuck it, why not, dude?
And then, like, later that day, he's like, he's into it. Like,
I just saw like I was like, oh, like they have a kitchen, they're not using it. Like how can we kind of
get our way in there?
Get our way into there, and then I called him, and he was like, oh, that's so funny. I was actually thinking about asking you the same thing, and I was like, oh, cool. Like, and then from there, like the conversation started, and we were like, oh, you already have like a kitchen here with like a lot of the essential things we would need, like a triple sink, and
they had a grease trap already.
Oh, nice.
And like all like the nice like the flooring, the kitchen walls that you would need anyways. And I was like, well, like if we put in like a hotline and a hood, like, you know, could we do it? And then
so that's will be coming the process now, right? Is like putting that stuff in, getting it all dialed in, so that way you guys can be in the kitchen and serving out of that spot.
Yeah.
And hopefully again in 3 to 4 months you're there and that's your permanent setup, no more pop-ups.
Yeah. I mean, the pop-ups, I think for me, like the hardest part was like when we were deep into the pop-ups, it was like, how do we make our pop-up better? But then the past year, like the hardest part has just been, I feel like just being in like limbo and like waiting kind of for like this all to kind of come together. Cause it's been so much just like kind of just dredging through life where you're like, all right, like maybe today's the day where like this is going to happen, or like we're going to get these plans approved or whatever. And then like also the financial side of it. And I don't know, there's just like a lot of like things going through your head, and you're also like working full time in a restaurant and then also like doing pop-ups like on your weekends. And it's just like quickly, like you get real
worn down pretty quick.
Oh
drained.
Yeah.
It's a lot to like kind of manage at once, but yeah, we got through it and here we are.
Yeah. So we already discussed a couple of the challenges that you had, but can you share any memorable moments or milestones that have made your journey so far?
I mean, I think the biggest one was when we got a halo in the coastal view. That was pretty cool.
That's been a big milestone in your journey as a business.
I think probably just like opening our spot is going to be
that's huge.
Getting the permits today.
Yeah, permits today.
That felt like a big one.
That's been like literally the whole like 9 months of us waiting for that.
Okay, so that's actually perfect. That was 9 months. So since you've talked to Sunburst, it's been about 9 months.
Since like the conversation started, we had to get an architect to do the drawings and stuff, and then get a contractor, and there's just so many steps you have to go through, and then you have to deal with the health department in the city, and like the fire department, and just like the list seems like endless, and then you're doing it for the first time, and you're like, what's the holdup? Like,
and you're like, why didn't anyone tell me about this or this?
I feel like, okay, I don't know if either of you have worked construction before, but I was a laborer for a little bit with my uncle's construction company, and my dad's in the construction field, or he was, but everything gets pushed back. everything gets pushed back. There's always an issue, and it's like, okay, well, that affects this, so now we have to bump that back. And there's always a pushback, and it's just like, it's kind of frustrating. You're like, oh, what's the holdup? And they're like, well, this was built not to code. This is all fucked up, so we got to go in there and fix this. And you're like, fuck, that's an extra week that we got to wait now.
Yeah.
Right.
And then I don't know, like working in restaurants too, you're like, everything's such like a time crunch. You're like, all right, like I got to get like this out right now. Like, and then you like start dealing with like other entities, and you're like, whoa, like you guys like don't really got that pep in your step sometimes.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. Like you don't like my problem isn't your problem. Like,
yeah,
you know,
no,
like,
that's exactly right. They go,
like,
well, we're gonna be back tomorrow. We're gonna fucking we'll work on it tomorrow. And you're like, no, like that's putting me 2 days behind now. Like, let's get this figured out.
Like I got a bunch of other guys that are supposed to come in 2 days, and now
exactly.
I gotta push them back.
Yeah, and
they might end up taking another job because they don't have.
it's like,
don't have
well,
work
then the time that they set aside for that specific job to what they were going to do is like, oh, now we got to push back. So like we're taking on another job, and then we'll be back. We're not available the day that you need us here, so we got to push it back in another 2 days.
Yeah, and
so
then it just all rolls over to like weeks, and then you hit like a holiday, and then it's like, oh, looks like you got enough, but I'm grinding on Memorial Day, like like, it's busy as hell in the restaurant. Like,
restaurant don't stop.
Yeah, like okay.
Isn't that funny? One thing that's funny about the restaurant industry, and I don't know if a lot of people know this, but we don't get holiday pay. Even if we work on holidays, we have to just work, and it is what it is. When everybody else is like, oh, like we're off today, I'm like, well, I'm fucking working, and
it's going to be really busy,
and it's going to be really busy, and I'm not getting any extra except for tips, maybe, except for tips, maybe.
Yeah, you know it's going to be busy, which is like, you want it to be busy if you're in a restaurant, but you also like, there's like a threshold where you're you're like, all right, too much. Like,
well,
like I'm good. Like
I start every shift and I'm like in a super good mood. Yeah. And then my patience just starts to go down, and hunger affects it too. If I get hangry, I start going like, I don't give a fuck. Like, and I'm like, oh, I'm on the clock, and my coworkers are going, no, you're here at the restaurant, but I'm like, I don't care. Like I'm getting tired, and I'm getting and it's just my patience is going down.
You start like taking your anger out on like stupid things like fucking tongs. Like, stupid ass fridge like doesn't fucking open right out of here.
Every little thing just kind of sets you off.
Dumbass shelf is kind of like crooked and low boy like.
And what I've realized getting older too is like the older I get, the more I'm like, I'm not as happy as I was. I don't know if that's the right way to put it, but I'm not as happy as I was. Like, I feel like I'm a crabby old bartender now, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm just seasoned. I'm better. And like, I have no problem cutting someone off going, I'm not serving you. Another bartender's like, oh my gosh, like he just said he's not going to serve him. I'm like, I'm not serving him. Like, what are you going to do about it?
Well, you've been down that road countless times before, It's like you kind of like, you see a lot of people try to empathize. I mean, and you should obviously empathize with people.
We're in a service-based industry. We want to give good service, but at the end of the day, like if you're just going to be a fuckhead, like I don't need to serve you. I don't care to serve you.
Yeah, you learn to pick your battles for sure.
Literally, yeah.
And like I mean, I don't know if I'm not a bartender, but isn't there like a thing if you like overserve someone and that could like
then you're liable?
Yeah, you're liable. Craziest story, side tangent, but I started undisclosed restaurant in Santa Barbara. I'm not going to say where I work, but I do work at this spot. Very nice steakhouse. And
Palms.
I started in December, and so it's the holidays, and Christmas time rolls around. I think this might have been the same night, but there's a regular who frequents the bar, and he comes in, and I'm like, who the fuck is this guy? And I'm like, oh, that's so-and-so. He comes in. Okay, cool. He already comes in drunk. And I'm like, okay. And the other bar, hell yeah. Cool. The other bartender's still serving him. And what does he order? A martini. 3 ounces of vodka. Just fucking, he's sending it.
Not good.
And he goes, I want a steak. I always get this steak. Cool. I'll put that in.
It's a good combo.
Yeah. A martini and a steak. Yeah. And I'm like, all right, cool.
Yeah.
So we do that. And he gets intoxicated. Obviously, he already is intoxicated. But he goes to the bathroom, comes back, sits at the bar, and goes, oh, yeah, can I get my phone back? And we're like, we don't have your phone. Oh, no, I gave it to you guys so you guys can
their phones.
So you guys can charge it. I told him, plug my phone in. No, sir, we don't have your phone. What? No. Starts getting upset, eats a steak, walks away to the bathroom, disappears for like 5 minutes, then comes back, sits at the bar. He closes out. He still can't find his phone, and he's upset. Goes to the bathroom again, says, maybe I left it in the bathroom. Can't find it, comes back out, just walks out the restaurant. Okay. 5 minutes later, my manager comes up and says, yo, there's a situation in the bathroom. I'm like, what? The fucking guy ripped out the sink. He was coked out, ripped out the sink, and just threw it on the ground. And
like, where's my phone?
Where's my phone? Takes it out of the restaurant. They fucking stole my phone. Fucking rips it out and throws it down. And so we're like, damn, that guy, again, was just on a whole nother level. And we didn't want to pinpoint him and say it was him, but we kind of figured out it was him.
Yeah.
Like, who else would do that at the restaurant who wasn't upset with us? The fool ripped out our fucking sink and threw it on the ground. And like, we walk in and it's just like porcelain everywhere.
Yeah.
And you're going, damn. And again, that was somebody I'm like, yeah, we probably shouldn't have given him that martini.
Yeah.
Literally, yeah, probably that martini maybe sent him over.
Yeah. No, it's always, there's someone got 86 from the restaurant I used to work at, and they would always come in like late at night, like right before we close, like 15 minutes before we close.
Yeah.
And like sit at the bar and like kind of like hit on the bartender. And they were kind of like an older woman, and they would just sit there until we were like closed, and we'd be like sweeping and like mopping and stuff. And she would sit there and then like be like, all right, like you gotta go. And she'd like at this point like be pretty drunk.
She'd come in drunk. If we're talking about the same person.
She would come in already drunk.
I bet you are.
Yeah. And then one time she called the next day and was like hysteric, just like, have you seen my phone? Like, I don't know where it is. Like, did I leave it at the restaurant? And like kind of like blaming the staff. Like, and we're like, no, we don't have your phone. Like, we've looked everywhere for it. Like, it's not in our lost and found.
Nobody turned it in. We don't have it.
Yeah, no one has your phone. Sorry. Like, and then she came in like 30 minutes later after she called, and she's like, I found my phone. It was at my house. Yeah.
Probably, yeah. You were drunk and you left it somewhere and you found it finally.
She eventually got 86 for just other stuff, but I was like,
well, that guy who ripped out our sink definitely got 86.
Yeah.
And then he came in, which was really fun. And we had to tell him like why he's 86.
Yeah.
And of course, we had no proof, but he's denying it, of course. And we're like, yeah, well, since then we haven't had our sinks ripped out. So
let's just go our separate ways.
Yeah, man, don't worry. There's plenty of other steakhouses that you can go rip out the sinks.
Dust on your boots, bud.
After speaking about that last story, the next question is kind of very relevant, actually. How has customer feedback and interaction shaped your menu and your overall business approach, as Dang Burger has gained a following?
For us, like, we just want to keep it like simple, and like we want our cheeseburger to like remind you of being a kid, like at a baseball game or like a party or something. And we don't want to be too stuffy or too highbrow, but like just kind of ride that like elevated lowbrow line. Well, and that's kind of our goal, I guess.
Have you had any customers, I mean, like we were discussing, kind of be negative and kind of, I know you want to take into consideration, but you take it with a grain of salt?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think, especially like in the early days of the pop-ups, we'd be really, really busy, and people would be some people would, come from a fair distance away to have our burgers, which is really cool. But then they would wait a long time to get their burger or to place their order. And, I think especially like when people are traveling specifically for something, they like, if it doesn't fully meet their expectations, like the experience, then they kind of resent the whole thing.
Yeah.
And so there were some, I mean, obviously like getting the food out quickly to people and having it like be like high quality that's the feedback that we listen to the most and what we try and fix.
What's your guys' ticket times like? If somebody places an order, how long can they expect to wait for one of your burgers?
I mean, like,
depends on how busy you are, obviously.
Doing a pop-up is like different than running a normal service, because like we're cooking in a parking lot and we're like bringing a whole kitchen with us, but it's like it's not perfect. It's like, you got pop-up tables and like everything's running on propane. And
propane fryers don't work as well as restaurant fryers.
I would imagine, right? Yeah,
and it's windy, and it's like there's a lot of like elements that like aren't working in your favor. Like you can't read the tickets because like they're flying around.
Yeah,
and like, but we've always kept tweaking them and trying to make them better and try to get food out as fast as possible. When we first started, we were like, hour-long ticket times for like one cheeseburger. And we're like, this is way too long.
It was really busy if it was an hour.
Yeah,
long
they need to like explain that. Go into more like an hour ticket time.
We would do like 300 cheeseburgers in like, like
we used
2 hours or less. And we would like, this is like
fucking nutso.
Yeah, it's hard to keep up with like the amount of people. And we'd have to tell like the person taking orders, like you have to slow down, your like interaction with the customer, like talk to them, try to get them to like think about things longer than just like briefly take their order, then put it up.
Yeah, like you can't be going as fast as you can.
Like every little thing helps like us.
And they see the line and they're like, okay, I'm going to get through these people. And you're like, well, you're fucking overloading the kitchen right now.
Right,
like you guys are just sending too many burgers.
There's like 30 tickets up here. Like this person that just ordered is going to be waiting a long time. So
And plus your griddle can only hold so much, right?
Yeah,
so you're limited on space. And
and then the table where we are assembling burgers can only hold so many. So it's like finding that sweet spot where we can like fire off like 7 tickets at a time or whatever it may be. And then some people are coming in, they're ordering like 12 cheeseburgers just for their family, which is great. And we love that. But it's like, like
that's one order. That's one order that literally maxes out everything.
Yeah.
One ticket will have like 8 different modifications on it. And like mods always slow you down.
So you got to look at it and pay attention, because if you fuck up one thing, they're going to come back and you have to remake that. And it takes time away from your other tickets that have already been waiting.
Yeah. I think for the most part, people understand that we're like in a parking lot and it's not going to be like perfect service because of the format. But there's like those people that like maybe find us on like Yelp or Google or something, and they're like upset. They're like, "What? I heard you guys are the best burger in town, but I waited this long." It's like, damn, sorry. Like,
we were busy.
We're trying our best. Like, it's like we're not trying. It's just it's a chaotic situation we're in. Doing pop-ups.
It's a real sprint.
Yeah, because we're open until we sell out. So it's like everyone comes right when we open, and then it's just like.
So you expect to get hit right when you open, right? Or is there like, oh, we're open 4:30, 5's probably going to be the rush, or 5:15 is probably going to be the rush.
It kind of depends. Each
if
one's
it's like
different.
the dinner, if it's like a 5 to 9 kind of thing, then like, I think we kind of expect to get rocked right away. Mm-hmm. But sometimes we'll do them at like noon or 1, and then it kind of usually those ones it kind of eases.
I would say people come in probably around 2 or 1:30, and it kind of starts to ramp up, and then you have a little lull, and then it picks up for dinner, right?
Kind of depends on like the
and like also like it's never gonna be like perfect in a pop-up setting, but we try our best, and like we've gotten it like a lot better from what it used to be. Like longer ticket times, we've like improved. We've bought more stuff, more tables, and to like make it better. But
bought a little electric griddle to do the buns, so that you'll have more space for patties.
That's nice. Yeah, so you're like, yo, we should do this. This is definitely an addition that we should like add, and we could use this.
Yeah, because we don't want to like have things drag super long. But it is what it is, and I think the local people that come support us like get that. But
they understand. Yeah.
One time we did a pop-up at a restaurant here in town. We like rented out their kitchen for the day. It was on Valentine's Day, and they were like,
it was
like, we got a griddle in our kitchen. We're like, oh, cool. Like, we'll just use your griddle.
Like half the size
Sweet.
of ours.
Yeah, it was like 2x2 griddle. Like, we're like, oh shit. And like,
this ain't gonna work.
Yeah.
So busy.
And it was like one of our busiest pop-ups, and it was like in a new kitchen.
I think
with like a smaller griddle, and we were really dragging tickets. And we were like, I remember like towards the very end, I brought out a cheeseburger to someone because like the person doing extra was like fuck this, I need to go on a break. And I was like, yeah, for sure, like I'll bring out this last burger. And I brought out the cheeseburger and started clapping like, yeah, like finally. And I was like so embarrassed. I was like, I'm sorry, man.
That was like
a sad burger.
Here's some extra sauce.
we haven't gotten that many negative Yelp reviews, and I feel like the majority of them are from that one pop-up still.
Really?
Yeah. Like 2 years ago.
When you guys are new and you're figuring it out,
Yeah.
the Valentine's Day Massacre, that's what it was?
That's what I call it. It was fun. I mean, we just walked into like a shitty situation. We were like, oh, like they have a griddle, great.
Naive.
We get there, and it was like so small.
Just being naive.
I was like, cool. I think actually we went home and got our griddle from the house and put it in the kitchen and put it on the burners.
Yeah.
To help out, but it's like a shady situation because like the grease trap on the griddle was like dripping into the burner.
Yeah, maybe we shouldn't say that.
You didn't say anything, no way. Yeah.
What's the statute of limitations on burger related crimes?
No, dude. It's extra juice. We're calling it juice. Extra juice.
Yeah, we were trying our best.
Yeah. That's kind of why I had brought up earlier that when I like to do all inclusive, because people be like, oh, we're supplying this, and you're like, okay, cool, it's accounted for. No, it's not. And then it makes you look bad because you're like, oh yeah, we already have that. And you go, okay, cool. Well, it's half the size of ours. So we're way busier. We're 2 times as busy and we have half the size to cook. Like that's just, it reflects poorly upon you.
Right, it makes you look bad.
It makes you look bad.
A situation that you were kind of...
It's situational and you go, fuck, how about I just bring our whole setup so that way we know, again, our capacity, what we can pump out because we're so used to our setup.
Right.
And rather than just saying, oh yeah, like they have one, we don't need to bring ours.
Yeah, unless you see it for yourself, it's probably best to just
I started
bring what you know.
Pre-screening. You start asking all these questions that are important and then you start to say, okay, well, can we do a site check or a walkthrough just so I can see and okay, that's not going to work. You start to be proactive and try to be preventative so that way it doesn't backfire on you and you go, well, fuck, people weren't happy with our service. Well, no shit, they weren't happy with our service because we're not using our stuff. We were using their stuff.
But you didn't even know to ask those questions until it happens.
Until it happens again.
You learn the hard way,
But that's, I feel like that's part of it. That's just any business, any startup or whatever. That's how it goes. Yeah. You have to fuck up to kind of learn.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think we learned so much within the first year and we tweaked a lot of things. Our first pop-up, we were literally doing the craziest shit. We were like, we had a fry press that we were just pressing on site.
It was like
into a bucket,
clamped to a tractor, to a little forklift.
Yeah,
that the brewery had.
We were like pressing fries into a bucket,
and
then dumping them into a fryer.
It was so stupid,
and it was just like
they were.
Anyways, we learned.
You both don't seem happy.
No, I mean we were just talking about this the other night, and I hadn't thought about it for a long time, and it's like, wow, we were really
doing that,
going for it on our first pop up.
Yeah,
you guys were ambitious. Fuck it. Yeah.
We were ambitious, like very much overly so, but.
I mean, you are where you're at now, and you learned what you learned, and you're like, okay, that was, I don't want to say foolish, but hey, we were inexperienced, we were naive, we didn't know. Yeah,
we
definitely learned.
We wanted to do something simple, then we realized like, whoa, this is actually a lot more than
we thought. Really overcomplicated simple.
Yeah. I mean, it is what it is, though. I mean, again, how do you learn if you don't make mistakes and you don't get feedback?
We actually were talking to someone else who has started doing burger pop-ups, who came to our last pop-up. And he was kind of asking like what we would and wouldn't do differently. And
smart.
Gil was like, because this guy, he does a sauce on his burgers and cheese. They're called Pleasant Burgers. They look delicious.
Yeah,
based in Santa Paula. But
Pleasant Burgers, I like that.
He puts just sauce, right? And maybe does he do onion too?
I think it was like sauce and pickles or something. But yeah, he was asking us questions, and we were like, honestly, like. Don't do fries at a pop-up.
Don't do keep your toppings simple.
Yeah, just do like what you're doing. Like we had this vision of doing like a California cheeseburger, and like it's fine, but just more things you have to bring.
It's great. It's delicious, but it's just so much extra work when you're already like kind of pushing yourself to the limit.
Yeah.
In the pop-up
by the time
situation.
you get to like the venue or whatever you're doing a pop-up at, you're like. You've already fought like 5 battles that day before you even like set up.
Before you fight the real battle.
I like how you put that though, because a lot of the people who see you guys and see us at events, they don't understand all the work prior that it took to be there, and then you're okay. Now it's time to execute. Yeah, but they don't, like you said. I just fought 4 or 5 battles before this.
Yeah, and that's like, and I don't want like our customers to be like, oh, like. They looked bummed when they were like cooking their
I know, me and Gil used to
but it's like we're not going to expose kitchen, and there's like so much chaos happening around us, which is like most kitchens that is like I feel like typical in some ways, but like you're like really exposed to the environment, and like any little problem that happens, like,
people see it.
Yeah, you're like, oh shit, I put mustard on the burger that wasn't supposed to have mustard on it, or whatever. Like,
well, Gil and me used to like argue at pop-ups
in front of people.
Yeah,
yeah. Well, that was like a conversation we had to have. We were like, dude, we can't like. Be bickering like that in front of people.
Yeah, we can't be like arguing about which bun,
like who fucked up where, you know,
or like who thinks there's
doesn't fucking matter. It's all about getting it out and fixing it.
Yeah, you just gotta sell tickets and go. And like, because it's easy to like pinpoint problems on like you forgot to bring the right regulator for the fryer or whatever, and you're like, just there's so many little things, but definitely excited to get out of that world because.
A little more privacy so we can really scream at each other again.
Yeah. Can't wait to start screaming again.
In the kitchen. Yes, chef. Yeah. Yes, chef. What the fuck? So with you guys cooking, what are your guys' designated roles? Because you're like, oh yeah, there's somebody who's taking the food order. There's somebody who's bringing it out. You guys are obviously cooking and then assembling. What is that setup like? Like if I were to walk up and order a burger from you guys at a pop-up shop, who's taking my order, who's cooking it, who's putting it together, who am I getting it from?
Well, in the pop-ups, like I'm always
Gil's always on the griddle.
and
Okay.
Emery's typically assembling.
Cool.
I kind of rotate at this point because like it used to be Wyatt, Gil's brother, was like always taking orders, but since he's left, it kind of like depending on who of our friends we're able to get to come help us.
Yeah.
You know, because we have a lot of friends now that are like experienced line cooks or chefs, and when it's someone like that, you're like, you know, what do you want to do? But sometimes you get somebody who's just like, okay, well, orders, you like take orders because you know that's probably what will be the easiest for you.
Yeah, just talk to people, take the orders, give us the ticket, right, and take the cash. Yeah.
But if you're slow, it's fine because that's actually better for us.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. When we open our spot, I think we're obviously gonna like kill ourselves working and try to do as many roles as we can. But we're gonna need staff, obviously. So we're not gonna be like the person probably taking your order, but we'll be in the kitchen and doing.
When it's slow, it'll probably be just the two of us.
Yeah,
but we'll see.
I mean, we don't really
we won't
know that until we open and see like kind of get a routine and like understand our like I don't know normal like business days. You know.
Well, if you said 3 to 4 months, that would put us in October, September. Yeah,
hoping for September. October.
September. Yeah. Okay, because I just know being in the restaurant industry, you guys probably do too. Like it dips out once school starts again, and then it ramps up around holidays, and then it kind of dies out around New Year's, and we're in our slow season from January to March or April, probably April, to be honest, even maybe May. But that's a good time because if you guys slip in there, you guys might get a little bit. Everybody goes back to school, kind of get our bearings, get
some practice before the holidays.
Figure it out, and then the holidays come in, and we get a little rush, but it's not summer. And then you guys can kind of go, okay, this is how we're going to calibrate, and this is how we're going to adjust moving forward.
Yeah.
Because it's going to be a whole new operation. Like you guys are experienced, you guys know what's up, but being at a new setup and a new kitchen, a new dynamic, it's going to take a little bit of time to figure that out.
Sure. I mean, we have a lot of specials we want to run that we're going to do eventually, but when we first open, we're going to just like focus on doing our bread and butter, just like simple cheeseburgers, and then like our vegan cheeseburger.
Maybe a salad or something that's not on the.
We want to do like some
menu.
salads too.
Okay, I mean, I think that's a good option because not everybody wants to eat fries and a burger.
Yeah.
Like I mean, I do. I love them, but not everybody's like, hey, I fucking want a burger right now, or all you guys have is fries. And you're like, yeah, that's all we got is fries.
Right.
Like, no, salad's a good option.
Yeah, anything we're gonna do, it's not gonna be like a Rusty's salad where it's like there's croutons in a box and like there you go, veggie head. Like, like it's gonna be like something thoughtful. Like we'll take our time with it and like make sure it's like done and executed well.
Yeah.
So like we want to do that on the menu like initially, but like there's specials we want to do, but we want to make sure we have our like
got to make sure we can
procedures in place and like we're operating at a good like high level that we're like stoked with and like executing well.
Nice. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's ideally the goal. And again, kind of figure it out beforehand. So that way you guys already know we don't get fucked later when we're super busy and we're trying to figure it out on the fly. Like it's not going to work that way, or we're going to talk about this later, we'll figure it out. But if you guys were to do a pop-up this weekend, let's say here in Carp, Sunburst or Brew Lab or whatever, how many people would be there in your crew?
Working the pop-up?
Yeah, with you guys, like Dang Burger. Because I know obviously there's two, but how many people would you...
It's usually a 5.
Yeah, if we're doing fries, then 5 total.
Okay. Yeah. And do you guys always do fries, or is that sometimes fries?
We stopped doing fries for a while. Just because
we hate our mobile fryer.
Our mobile fryer is like on it's the bane of my existence. I hate it. It's a nightmare to deal with, and you have to drain the oil at the end of the night, and it's still kind of hot. And like then you have to transport hot oil in your car, and it leaks everywhere, and or burns your hand, and
you have to constantly be adjusting the temperature. And
hot oil is just
like fryers and kitchens like regulate their own temp, so that when you drop a basket of fries, it'll be like, oh shit, like it'll turn up, and then it'll go like this one like doesn't do that because it's a propane fryer and it's like welded by some guy in LA.
It's like very simple,
and it's great for what it is, but it's not meant for the volume that we do.
So you guys are the ones that are having to calibrate and adjust and say, oh fuck, it's just like way too hot right now, or
we stopped doing fries and started doing potato chips for a while, and then
we got so many complaints.
People like
speaking of customer feedback,
we opened Pandora's box, and like everyone expected fries from us with every time we did a pop-up, and then when we stopped doing fries, people were kind of upset, and we're like, oh.
Okay, so funny enough, like I was talking to my mom earlier today, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I've had their burgers. They're so good. Like they're like some of the best ones I've ever had in Carp." And I was like, "Oh fuck yeah!" But she was like, "The time that I had it, they weren't doing fries though." She was bummed, and she's like, "They were serving potato chips." And it makes total sense now to hear why you guys were doing potato chips, because she was like, "Yeah, the burger was so good. I bet their fries were amazing." And she was like, I really wanted to have the fries, but understanding from your point of view of like, it's too much of a nightmare, or if we're super slammed, it's not going to be consistent, or there's just too many variables.
I mean, they don't come out like as good as we want them to either.
Yeah,
it's just like the fryer temp will like drop down way lower than it should be to get like a good crispy fry, and then we're like trying to adjust it, and then
like you don't want to serve bad fries.
It's just a constant battle. Like it's literally like a one-person job, and like they're always adjusting the temperature. But it's still like that's not enough because the fryer just like can't handle it for the volume. So we're always like cranking it full blast, and then if there's any dip in service where it's like kind of slow,
then all of a sudden the fryer's 550, and you're like, okay, this is like
fuck, it's way
one kind of dangerous, and two like it's gonna fucking not make very good
just
fries.
Take off. You're like, whoa.
Yeah. So but it also like it's such a like easy add-on to any burger because it's like everyone wants fries.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say you give me just a burger. Like at my current spot employment, we do a burger for happy hour, but it doesn't come with fries, and I'm like, what the fuck? Like that's kind of weird to me because I'm like that should just come with it. Or you go to expensive places and they're like, yeah, it's just the burger and fucking $10 fries. You're like, whoa,
man, I'm gonna do it, but
yeah. Like why did you include that? Like, that's just part of the thing. A burger and fries is just how it is. Again, the classic California style, especially, that's just a burger and fries. Yeah. It is what it is.
I mean, when we first opened it, we were doing animal salt fries with our cheese fries. Like this is like
animal style fries.
Yeah, we were like, literally just came out. We're like, yeah, we're doing it, and like it's a menu item, and like people were ordering it, and we're like, okay, we're never doing this again.
Oh yeah,
we did it for a while, and then we took it off the menu, and then people would still try and order it. We'd be like, all right, but don't tell anyone, don't show anyone.
We'll do it for you, but
that backfires real quick, right? Because people see them and go, well, they ordered it, or I saw them eating it. How did they get it? And you're going, I know them.
They're chill. I catered their daughters.
So they get special treatment. We get that at the bar all the time. We don't make chocolate martinis. And one of my bartenders, he's the lead bartender, he's the homie. I fucking love the guy, but he'll make a chocolate martini and then send it out, and people are like, "What's that? What's that?" I call it the fajita effect.
Dude,
imagine walking through the restaurant with the fucking fajita and sizzling, and everybody's like, I want that. And you go, fuck, now we have 15 of them we got to make.
They're like that shiny Mercedes rolling down the...
And they go, oh, they had animal fries. Those look so good, though.
It goes, I mean, that's across the board, like in a restaurant. There's just like things on the menu that catch people's eye, and then you send one out, and all of a sudden you've got like...
If it's not a menu item, I try not to do it.
Yeah. I mean, even if it is a menu item. For In-N-Out, too. They're like, oh, like... They'll like try to customize their order. Like, can I get like... the veggie burger with like a patty on top, or like, and like it's like, and it's hard to like tell someone that's taking orders for us for the first time to be like, like we're not
them no.
Yeah, we thought about this menu, and like
no's a good word.
We're trying to like execute it, and like what you're now doing is like they're creating their own menu item, which is like cool, I guess, if you're In-N-Out, but like we don't have 17 people working in the kitchen like In-N-Out does. We have,
all stoked, all super stoked to be employed.
And all making like really good money. Like props to In-N-Out for paying their employees well.
We're like, there's like 5 of us here, and like we don't have the capacity to like tweak it. We would love to, but it's a lot. For us to do with like when we're also like really busy.
That's something we've been talking about a lot, like how to deal with mods and like once we're in full restaurant form.
In the burger world, that's a huge, if you have toppings on cheeseburgers, that's a huge thing. It's like, how do you make your customer happy, but also like be like, like all your mods
set boundaries
are like slowing down our entire process and like other customers, and like finding that balance. Like there's no like perfect answer, I feel like, but because we want to like, we're in the service industry, we want to like make people stoked, but like we also want to make things like executable for us.
Oh yeah, that's what people don't understand though. They get all mad and take it very personable because it's like, I came to this restaurant, I came to support them, and they're not making it how I want. And you're like, that's totally cool. But you are 1 out of fucking 400. So I can't necessarily bend down to every need because everybody else is going to want the same thing. Or you start to sacrifice again time and efficiency. You're going, we can't do that.
Yeah.
I got to tell you no.
There's got to be a balance, and I think
obviously
we'll figure it out eventually when we're open, but for the pop-ups, it's kind of hard because we do them, like once a weekend or once a month, or we'll take breaks. Sometimes people will come back and like, I want the one cheeseburger you had like that one time.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, we don't have that.
I want those animal fries again. You're like, yeah, we took that off the menu a fucking long time ago.
It's like, sorry. But
so
we try.
You guys operate off of right now, currently different locations, again, different pop-ups. How do you stay consistent with that? Do you guys kind of have a formula or like a checklist of like, here's all of our material. We've done it at this place so many times. We kind of know what to expect. Do you guys still do random pop-ups at new locations? Or are you pretty set with your consistent route as it is?
I mean, I will say that like doing them in Carp, we definitely know what to expect. More so than like if we branch out a little bit more. Like for instance, we did one in Santa Barbara earlier this month, and it was kind of later in the day. And it was it was like in the funk zone at a warehouse for a band doing their album release. And we definitely over prepped for that one.
Really?
Yeah. Like we didn't make a whole lot of money that day, and we broke even, which is, we were able to pay all of our friends.
Because you're getting the exposure. Right. I hate when people say that exposure, but you're getting exposure. You're out there, and people are happy, and they go, "Okay, well, next time I'll fuck with it." Like if I see them at a spot, I'm gonna pull up, and I'm gonna go show support.
Right.
Yeah, we like played. We did a band's like record release thing, and they were like their whole audience was like 17-year-olds, pretty much, and we're like.
We didn't get very good tips that night.
And the restaurant industry, we kind of work for our tips because again,
buying food. They're like, "Oh, you have beer?" Because they're like all like high schoolers, and we're like, we're not selling beer.
We're not.
We should.
Like, I see
be.
you have a beer. And we're like, we brought beer. We're of age.
We shouldn't be, but like we should be. We make more money.
We should be.
But
we should be.
No, but we're not because that's like not cool. But like, it wasn't a huge food sales night, So we were kind of bummed. But it was still fun.
It was fun.
Yeah.
We sent one of our guys home early.
Really? Yeah. Hey, which is kind of cool. Hey, we don't need you. This is, get out of here. We can set it down.
Yeah.
Speaking of, have you guys had a lot of gigs or pop-ups that you guys pull up to and you're like, damn, we didn't really make much, or I don't want to say it was a waste of time, but hey, we should have thought about this a little bit more or adjusted.
Yeah. I mean, like I'm always more eager to jump into shit without thinking about it because I'm just like, oh yeah, they want us, cool, yes, validation.
I'm the realist.
And then Emery's always like, no, Gil, we should
practical.
Do that. Yeah, and I'm too like eager, so I think that's a good balance that we have. Because I'm always like, I think we can execute that, we can do that.
Yeah,
but like I'm like not thinking about like the
logistics.
Yeah, like if it could go wrong, but I don't know, doing pop-ups, it's like if you
got to take some risks.
100%.
If you don't do well, it sucks because it's not like you're a restaurant. Like things don't roll over into the next day or next service. Like, oh, like I have so much chives cut for tomorrow or whatever.
Yeah.
It's like, no, like we don't have a pop-up for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
So it's like
we're throwing away materials.
Yeah, all that shit's going bad.
It's all going to waste. Like we'll cook at home and we'll freeze whatever we can or sell off like our meat or whatever. But it's like, I don't have like a walk-in fridge at our house. Like we,
those leftover onions. I mean, obviously onions are the most expensive thing in the world, but like you're going to use what you can out of those onions, or you're throwing the rest away. And it's
yeah, and that's that.
It's for the event or for the day, right? Yeah, and you're going, okay, cool. Like we prepped it all, we put all the time in to get it ready, and
that's the other
we didn't
thing.
use it.
Yeah, it's like we do bring as many things as we can to a pop-up. That is true, but also like if we wanted to, we could probably hire someone to bring us more stuff, but it's like then we're like rolling the dice every pop-up with like material, and we're like, well, if we don't do this, then we're wasting like a lot of money and we don't have a place to put all this stuff. So it's kind of like finding that balance. I think we've found that with pop-ups. We're like, all right, we know how much to order every time.
Yeah, that actually, I was about to ask a question about that, just because you guys talking makes me think. But do you guys judge it off of hours or time of day, or how do you guys figure out how much to order and how much to bring? Because I know you guys are like sell until we're sold out, which is great. Obviously, selling out is the goal. That means you had a really good day. That means you're not bringing shit home. You know, you don't have to load up the car with as much stuff, and you guys probably made good amount of money that day. Going, fuck yeah, like we're stoked now that we had a good day. Do you guys have a formula, or do you guys kind of have an idea of like, we just kind of feel it out? Like we kind of just know now.
I think we know.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like we used to bring like more than 50 pounds of meat to pop-ups in carp, and I think we've dropped it down a little bit.
I mean, like, if we're in carp, it's like, all right, 50
That's the
pounds
thing. It's like home turf. Like,
You guys are carp,
we know how much to bring, and we know we're going to sell out for the most part. And like,
we know how many ounces
we're going to get our
are in
asses
each patty.
kicked, but like, it's going to go.
Like,
it's all going to go.
We know how many buns we're buying. We're like, all right, we're going to do like 250 to like 300 burgers or something. But if we're like, you know, an SB or Ventura, where we're like maybe not as popular or well known, we're like, all right, well, like maybe we'll bring like 40 pounds.
Yeah,
it's hard to predict too, because like we've done them in Santa Barbara where we got like one of our crazier pop-ups probably was in Santa Barbara, and then like a few of our slowest ones have been in like it's just hard to predict.
I know. It's
like when you get out of your comfort zone, at least, you know.
Yeah, we did one at this bar, Elsie's.
Yeah,
SB.
That's cash only.
Yeah,
yeah,
and which I love that bar, but they wanted us to do it like late at night, like 10 to midnight, and we're like, all right, well, we'll see how it goes, and it ended up being just like not very busy, and I was like, I feel like we kind of agreed to like doing like a dumb time.
Yeah,
but like
you have to do those things though to kind of learn and go like, fuck, like maybe it's not the time for everybody to eat, because again, you look at the busy times, lunch and dinner, and you go, this is late night, which late night could hit, but it depends. It just depends.
You're like, on paper, like this kind of sounds cool. Like people are drinking at a bar on a Saturday.
Yeah, we're
night.
not like Singapore. We're not in Singapore where it's like, oh, they got late night food.
Like it's gonna be a rush.
We're in Santa Barbara where it's like everything closes at like at a certain time, and people are used to that, and I feel like no one expects food after a certain time.
You plan
so
for
they're
that.
like, I already ate at 7. Like, why would I think there's
I'm not even that hungry. Now it's time to drink.
Yeah, I don't know. So we still sold food, but it was just like not as busy as we thought. So there was a lot of like learning curves like that, and we used to do like daytime pop-ups versus nighttime pop-ups, and I feel like
the daytime ones are cool. Like
they're
I feel
cool.
like we would do well at the daytime ones too, but it was just
the daytime ones are hard because it's like, all right, if we open at noon, we have to get up at like 7.
That part sucks.
Prep time, dude. There's prep time, load time, unload time, setup time. It's a lot. It's a lot. Yeah. Have you ever sold out quicker than anticipated? Like, oh fuck, we sold out. We're supposed to be here from 5 to 10, and it's 7:30 now, and we're out.
We used to like put hours on our pop-ups, and we pretty quickly learned to just write like 5 to sell out instead of 5 to 10 or whatever.
Because I noticed that I was following you guys, and you're like, yo, we're here until we sell out, and I'm like, all right, that's good. So that means people, it kind of creates that demand for it, where it's like, oh, if I don't get there, I might not get it.
Yeah, my girlfriend couldn't buy a burger at our pop-up the other day because she got there. I mean, that last week was like one of the fastest sellouts I think we've had.
Yeah, we brought like 50 pounds of meat, and we sold out in like 2.5 hours, which is like, it's great problem to have. But like, I think there's some people that don't understand that, and they're like, why don't you just bring more stuff? And you're like,
we can't.
I'm
sorry.
My dad gets mad about that. He's like, I understand. Like, if I went to a restaurant and they had no food, I'd be pissed.
It's not a restaurant.
It's not a restaurant.
Yeah, we're like, well, we will be a restaurant one day, and we're gonna have enough food. Like,
we won't sell out when you come to our restaurant.
Because we'll have something for the next day, like, and then we'll order more for the day after that.
Yeah.
But like, when you're doing a pop-up, you don't have that predicament. You're like dealing with a very finite, limited quantity of things where you're like, all right, well, like, I have to like make this work just for today.
Yeah. And I say underbidding is a little bit better than overbidding, because again, then you're going home going, well, I have this much extra material now.
Yeah.
And I can't necessarily roll it over to the next one because the next one's not for a week or two.
Yeah, because I'm making chili for the next 4 days or whatever.
Yeah. And I mean, I'll use it, but it's not, I'm not selling it for a profit. I'm not benefiting off of it. I'm using it.
That's the cool thing about being from carp though, is like, if we don't have enough like sales at our pop-up, like we're usually being like, oh, like we can sell it to like our friends and family, and they'll like buy like meat
because we buy really good meat, and like they're like, yeah, cool,
we'll take it.
Have some good ground beef.
I'll do some good ground beef.
Yeah, and we're not trying to make money off of it, but we're just like, we'll sell it for what we bought it for, and we'll like kind of get some money back for what we bought.
Looking ahead, what are your aspirations for Dang Burger, and do you have any plans for expansion or new menu items?
Yes to new menu items.
The expansion is obviously brick and mortar. You're going to be having a spot in 3 to 4 months, hopefully. Like that is the time frame, not prolonged, but menu items. Let's talk about that. You do fries, burgers? You said you did animal fries, took that off the menu.
Yeah.
But if you had an actual spot that was...
Yeah, we're going to do some salads. And then we have a lot of specials we want to do.
Mm-hmm. Specials, would that be like a weekly thing, daily thing, or?
I think it's going to be a daily thing. It's going to be like, today's like fried chicken day, or whatever.
Would that be consistent though? Like, oh, Mondays are fried chicken day? Or would that be like, oh, Monday or last Monday was fried chicken day and this Monday is something else?
We got to kind of figure that out. Because the idea of doing like something for a week sounds cool, but also the idea of having specific days...
I think
for specific items.
Because what if you build a following? You did fried chicken on Wednesday, and people were like, "Oh fuck, they can make the best chicken burgers or best fried chicken sandwiches on Wednesday," and then they go next Wednesday, and you're like, "Oh, guess what? It's fucking taco." We're not doing that this Wednesday.
I think we would probably keep it consistent, but I think the first thing is we got to establish like what we can and can't do in the kitchen, and be like, okay, like. How can we do just the baseline?
Right.
And then be like, what can we do from there? Mm-hmm. And then how can we execute this well to where we're happy with it and people are stoked with it?
Yeah.
We want to do, fried fish and fried chicken and stuff, but it's also I think the specials are a good way to try and figure out if we could handle that on like a full-time basis,
Yeah.
Like we don't have a huge fryer going into our spot, and a lot of those countertop fryers, the capacity is not like, if it's a really popular item, it's not something that's going to like translate well to a small piece of equipment like that.
Yeah.
So I think we are going to have to kind of figure out what works on like a regular basis, and the specials are a good opportunity to...
Any ideas or thoughts about desserts? Like, because you talked about it. I mean, classic California burger and fries, I would think milkshake or something like that. You know what I mean? Because you have all this salty food and it's really good, but I'm craving a sweet after usually. I'm like, oh, what? You have a pizookie? You know what I mean? Like, you got a shake? Like, what's going on?
Emery's mom has made cookies for us
for almost every pop-up.
All of our
really?
pop-ups.
Yeah.
And see, I think that's a great thing because, again, after a salty burger and some salty fries, and I want something sweet. Like, it's just a sweet and salty kind of thing.
And I think a lot of people are right there with you.
Yeah.
I think we'll continue.
And cookies aren't hard, too. If you guys doughed it out and then just baked them.
I think we'll continue to do cookies at the bare minimum, but...
I don't think my mom's going to keep doing it for us.
No,
7 days a week.
Source that.
We can make our own cookies and make our own cookie dough and stuff. But I think down the road, I would like to do like milkshakes too. And
milkshakes.
Stuff. But same thing. It's just like, what can we do in our kitchen? What can we not figure out?
How busy will it really be? Like, how much can we take on?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Like, how many things can we load on the kitchen, basically?
If you were to have an ideal menu, like picture yourselves walking in to Sunburst and having your shop, and I'm looking at the menu, how many items would you want to have as far as options? Or
we want to keep it small, keep it simple, keep it straightforward, not like over complicated. We want you to walk in and be like, okay, I want this, and I'm good to go. But we also want to make it, not only it is a cheeseburger, but like fresh, and
we got the cheeseburger, you got the vegan burger, you got French fries, you got salad, you got a special, and you got some dessert. So probably like 10 items or less, or 8 items or less.
If you want to go like the greasy route, you can, or if you want to go like a little bit healthier, then you can too. But it's all going to be through like a fast kind of food lens.
To be clear, the veggie burger is fried in grease, so that's still the greasy route, but it's
a deep fried patty, but it's vegan. But it's still deep fried. But I feel like if you're coming to a burger shop to get anything, you probably want something that resembles a fast food item.
It doesn't taste like a burger, but it's fucking good.
But
and it's like it's not I don't want to say a gut bomb, but it's like, it's a real, it's like eating a burger.
Yeah. But when I get pizza, I like to have a salad too. It's like because like the cold crunchy lettuce.
It just goes with it. Where like you can't eat a bunch of pizza and then take some salad.
Yeah.
And okay, like it's a good little switch off.
Yeah, it's like it's nice to have the accompaniment of something that's like not so heavy. So we want to do that too. So we will, but I think it's just finding like where we can go and what we can and can't do.
Yeah. And that'll obviously be something you guys probably talk about more so when you're getting closer to getting into the spot and saying, okay, like now it's time to design our menu. Now it's time to think about putting something up. Like, well, what do we want our menu to say and what do we want to have on it? Right.
Yeah. We have a loose,
I think we have a good idea of that, but it'll just more be like Gil was saying, like figuring out what we can take on beyond that, But I think we know what we want to do to start.
Yes, perfect.
For sure, cheeseburgers. That's going to be on the menu.
I would hope. Yes,
that's always going to be
not do burgers anymore.
That's a dang spaghetti.
Yeah. Dang chow mein.
Totally switch it up with pasta.
Yeah. I mean, we're always going to do that. For sure, but I think incorporating like things that are fun for us and like delicious for other people, is
and that'll still give you. I think it's really cool your creative aspect where you're like, hey, I like to cook and I like to just like I like food, I like making stuff, and you're like, okay, cool. Here's our special. This is what we're doing. Hey, that actually was a good special. People really liked it. Maybe we should consider putting that on the menu or bringing it back weekly and saying, hey, that's a good staple item.
Yeah. We did a special this past weekend because we always run this one special. It's like a hot dang is what it's called, and it's
hot dangs.
It's a spicy cheeseburger with like jalapenos and roasted peppers.
I would order that.
Yeah,
they're really good.
I would 100% order that.
It's really good, but the peppers, there's kind of like a pepper shortage right now in like the U.S. Like that's why sriracha is so expensive. And
really,
like there's like a lot of just like peppers are just not super like easy.
Peppers are looking butt these days. They're not looking good.
Another carb term, but the shoal burger and butt, the butt fries.
I think it's like just due to like all the rain in the winter, like the peppers have just kind of not been popping off as much as they usually are in the summer.
I mean, it happens completely based on the weather.
Yeah,
there's shortages and
So Emery's always wanted to have bacon on a cheeseburger. So we did a Western bacon.
Yeah, Gil's always
dang.
resisted.
Really?
Yeah, we did like a Western bacon dang.
What's the debate between that? Like, why are you for it? Because I'm like, okay, that's like it's pretty much standard to me. If you get a burger, people want the barbecue burger with the onion ring or the fucking bacon on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just, it is what it is.
Yeah.
Why are you against it?
It's once you open up the bacon box, it's just people want to.
It's hard to close that box.
People want to put bacon on everything. It's
okay.
like, can I get bacon on this? And it's like it's just one more thing that we have to say no to. And
I mean, that was
in my opinion too. It's like I don't think that bacon belongs on like a classic California cheeseburger, and that's what we're like aiming to do. Mm-hmm. And I love bacon. I want to do specials with bacon, but
we also like we kind of have this like. We really like to try and recreate fast food burgers, but way better.
Yeah.
So like there was one pop up pretty early on where I forget why. Oh yeah, we got these buns because for a while we were trying to find what buns we were going to use. We got buns from this Ventura baker that were really good, but they were huge. Mm-hmm. So we like started cutting out the center of it to make it fit our burgers. Then we were like, let's fucking make Big Macs. Mm-hmm. So we made
Big Macs one.
Yeah, like in the exact order that they do the ingredients for a Big Mac.
Yeah,
and we were like, these are fucking good. These taste like Big Macs, but better.
I think a lot of our specials will be like kind of derivative of like classic fast food items.
Like our favorite old weird fast food.
I love that though because you're going, okay, instead of it being a fast food kind of chain, just pump it and dump it, like we're going to elevate it and we're going to make it really good.
Yeah.
And I think that quality goes really far.
Totally.
Like our cheeseburger now is just like in and out, like our riff on in and out with like maybe the habit kind of like,
it's I don't
slightly
know. Different.
It's a little different, but there's a lot of like components that
but it's in and
like
out. It's similar. In and out inspired.
Yeah.
For sure.
And I noticed this. I was going to ask you guys, it wasn't on my list, but I was going to ask you guys, I've seen you guys, I don't know if it's imitate or clown or kind of shout out in and out. You know what I mean? Like you guys have some of the uniforms or some of the, you guys dressed up a couple of times or said some shit. You know what I mean? Like, do you have a respect for In-N-Out and you like it, but you just want to elevate that and kind of take it a little bit further?
In-N-Out's the model.
Like, In-N-Out is the model.
I mean, they're great.
Burger legends, but you know, we're not In-N-Out. and we never will be. But like,
that's what's good about it though, is like you have something that you go, okay, everybody knows this, everybody likes this. How can we take that and kind of alter it and make it our own and say, how do we take it further?
The cool thing about In-N-Out is that it's like, it is fast food, but it's like, you can't put In-N-Out in the same realm as like McDonald's or like Wendy's or whatever. Like it's in its own tier. And it's like, I think maybe Shake Shack is also in that tier.
Never had Shake Shack.
Way more expensive.
Is it good? I've never had it.
It is good, but it's like twice as much as In-N-Out.
It's like
In-N-Out, you get burger and fries for like $9 still. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And I think we appreciate that, and we want to even take that to like the next level and be like, we're a boutique burger shop. And we're going to do this kind of burger, but like we're going to do it in our own little way and kind of honor that California message.
But that was a roundabout way of saying that the burger we did this last weekend was the double Western bacon burger from Carl's Jr.
Yeah.
It was like,
but see, like, and I know that is a very, very popular item that people love to order.
Yeah.
But personally, I don't ever go to Carl's Jr. I just don't like the quality of it. Like, I don't know. It's just not for me. No. But I do like a barbecued Western burger with barbecue sauce, onion rings, bacon. Like, I'm about it. But that's kind of where I was.
I don't know if Carl's invented that. I don't know if they just like kind of bought into that whole Western cheeseburger hype. But it is a staple, I feel like, in the fast food world, where it's like,
it was like a childhood favorite for me, for sure. Like, I don't go to Carl's anymore.
No, I don't go to Carl's, but I like a barbecue burger.
We like those nostalgic notes where it's like, oh, that's like a fun play on, and we did it up like differently. We like, 'cause it's stone fruit season, like me and my girlfriend made like a plum barbecue sauce.
Oh yeah.
And we got really good bacon. We used really good meat. So it's like, and we did tempura fried.
We had a lot of fun making those onion rings.
Yeah.
So like we made it, everything about it, like each level of it better, but we just honored the build of the whole thing.
Yeah.
And like one of our chef friends came to the pop-up and was like, yo, like it would have been nice if you had like pickles on it. And I was like, well, Carl's Jr. didn't put pickles on this.
Carl's Jr. does it.
And he's like, oh, like, shit. But I was like, you're right though. Like, we should like not always take everything so literally.
Yeah.
But like,
customize it and alter it if we feel like we need to, or we want to elevate it. Yeah.
But I mean, we had fun with it. It was cool, and everyone seemed stoked on it. So
yeah.
I was gonna say, now you guys just got me thinking about like, oh, what about a teriyaki burger with a pineapple, or what do you think about an avocado burger? You know what I mean? Like,
don't ask Gil about an avocado burger. He hates that as much as bacon.
Oh man, we're living in Carpinteria.
No. I mean, I'm not. I love avocados. It's not that I'm against avocados. It's just in the burger world, there's like toppings are gold, you know, like you can always add, but you can never subtract. So it's like, once you add it, it's there. Like, why'd you take off bacon? Why'd you take off the avocado? So if you run it as a special, then it's cool. But if you run it as your day-to-day item, where it's like you can add avocado in your cheeseburger, it's like,
right. Take the habits model though, where they're like, do you want to add avo? Do you want to add bacon? Now you're upcharging and saying, okay, we just took that burger that was $6 and we just made it $9.
Yeah.
You know, we just added to it, and you're like, and we get shit so cheap, like it's not even that much. Like, it's really not that big a deal.
No, I get that too, but I'm also like,
you mean Taco Bell?
I just don't want to I don't want to go down the route where it's like, oh, like the customer is designing their cheeseburger. I want to be like, like this is what we thought of. We hope you enjoy it.
There was this burger spot when we lived in LA that I would get burgers from every once in a while. I can't remember what it was called now, but that was their whole thing, was like, you fully customize your burger. They have countless toppings.
That's too much.
And I would go like, yeah, I want fucking pickled peppers, and I want onions, and like I want avocado, I want like
Subway
bacon,
style,
I want
or
barbecue
what?
sauce, like I want all this shit, and then I'd get the burger and I'd be like, this sucks.
It's too much.
This burger sucks.
It's too much.
Yeah, we don't want to be a Subway, I guess. We just want to be like, this is what we have, and we've done a lot of like thinking and like put a lot of time into like creating this menu item, like, you know, enjoy it the way it comes.
As is, as it is.
And it's like, even if you don't like this or that, like, try this, and, you know, then develop your opinion about it.
Yeah, and then maybe we'll talk about,
because people don't like onions, and then they'll try a burger and be like, oh, like, it's because like we used to slice our onions like super thin and like smash them into the patties, like.
They're not your typical onions.
Yeah, like, they kind of barely even notice that.
What if somebody says I have an allergy or onion allergy?
I mean, we'll take them off, but
yeah, you always got to make, like accommodate allergies for sure.
Yeah. But like, we want people to like try it for what it is. And,
because that's your build, that's your, again, product that you're putting out there. So you want them to enjoy yours.
It's the build that we're honoring. I feel like we're taking like what we like about cheeseburgers growing up and being like, what are the best things about like the cheeseburgers we liked? And then like putting that into a cheeseburger. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of like what the Dang Burger is. It's just like a simple California cheeseburger with like a few little tweaks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When's your next pop-up? Because I definitely want a burger right now.
We don't know.
You don't know?
We don't
Undecided?
have any booked currently. I mean, we're doing a wedding in a couple weeks, and that's going to be pretty big, but that's not to the public, obviously. And then kind of just...
We'll probably book a couple more in Carp in July, or...
We're kind of just focused on like doing our build-out, and then...
Do you guys actively seek out like pop-up shops, or do people hit you up and say, hey, we're going to do something on Friday. Are you guys available? Can you guys come through, or blah, blah, blah? Like, are you actively saying like, I need to go somewhere, I need to find a spot?
I think it goes both ways. Like there's some places that are like, you guys are welcome whenever you want to come, just come. And there's some places that are like, oh, like we have something this day, can you come?
Well, I feel like at this point, like like there are a few places around Carp especially that are like, anytime, like, let us know and like we'll find a time for you like this month or something.
So if you wanted something next week and said, hey, we should make some money, we should do something on Friday or Saturday, let me reach out to X, Y, and Z.
There's probably enough places that we could find something. But,
cool.
And then there are places that reach out.
Yeah.
And
the ball's usually, I feel like, in our court.
Really? Nice.
But it's not always like, it's not like we can just say yes, because we have to coordinate with each other, obviously, but then we also have to find staff for it, and then figure out if we can even do it. But it's easier now that we're not like working at a restaurant, because we like quit our jobs to focus on opening the spot. But when we were
so neither of you are employed right now.
Yeah, we just quit our jobs like 2 weeks ago.
Nice. Fuck yeah. Congratulations.
Yeah.
I always congratulate people when they quit their jobs, because I think that's big, bro. You said, I don't want to be a slave anymore. I quit that shit. Like, I congratulate people when they quit their jobs.
We were working full time, like overtime, sometimes just like, doing the grind, and then doing the pop-ups when we could. Then we kind of stopped doing it for a while because it was just too much. We couldn't do it. And then when we quit, we like immediately started doing pop-ups again, just to focus on it and kind of just get the hype going. But we kind of did it too, just like to focus on the rebuild of the kitchen and all that too.
Nice. Fuck yeah.
Still covering shifts. I worked a shift last night.
Yeah. We don't mind working. It's just like, it's a lot doing both. Like full time.
But again, it's like you have the vision and you guys have the goal and you understand that it's coming. Yeah. So I totally get it. It's not like you guys just quit your job and said, fuck, we're going to go full force into Dang Burger and we don't know where we're at right now. Like you guys have already kind of built a momentum, you know?
We tried to time it so it was like, okay, like how much runway do we have? Like, can we live off of like...
Yeah, how much rent can I pay?
Yeah, like what are my expenses? What are my bills?
I saved enough money for this amount of time. Like, okay, I can get through it, yeah.
My Prius is still for sale.
Yeah.
Link in the description.
Seriously though.
So what advice would you give aspiring culinary entrepreneurs who dream of starting their own burger joint or restaurant?
Don't do fries in your pop-ups. Do very few toppings in your pop-ups.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like you guys already kind of touched on this way earlier when you said, hey, this guy came and he's from Santa Paula and he's been asking us questions and we were giving him advice. And I think that's so cool personally, because even with the side business of the bartending that I do, I reached out to somebody who's fucking killing it in Orange County. And I just saw him on Instagram and I'm like, that's a very far distance. So I randomly just sent him a message and I didn't expect much back. And he messaged me back and he gave me advice. And I said, hey, can I get your phone number? I'd love to have a phone call. And I reached out to him and I just said, how do you do this, man? I see what you're doing. And I think I'm very capable of doing something like that in my area, but I have questions because I want to learn. Right. I don't want to start out and go, fuck, I made a bunch of mistakes that I didn't need to make.
Totally.
I just think that's really cool that you guys are totally open to doing that, and you guys already have done that, because I feel like it's kind of a necessary thing to like pay it forward. You know what I mean? Like, we've gone through this. I don't want you to go through that. Like, and especially if he's in Santa Paula, he's not your competition.
That's it. I mean, yeah.
Yeah,
and
no,
it's like,
I don't even look at it like if someone opened a burger pop up in Carp, I'd be like, go for it, dude. Like,
I'm not going to tell you shit.
I love
Lip seal.
I love cheeseburgers. Like, I want everyone to succeed. But I think for anyone that's starting anything, food related or not, like, just make sure that you are inspired and
care about what you're making.
Yeah, care about what you're doing. If you don't care about it,
care about what you're making.
You better be stoked on it.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah,
you're gonna be doing a lot of it.
They don't understand that, but I mean, if they have the idea, I'm like, yo, you should go for it, because what else are you doing? Like, you know what I mean? Like,
if you're passionate enough to like start it, then that's a good step. But just continue that passion and and also like learn as much as you can. I would say, like, just don't stop learning. Don't be closed-minded to new ideas, new things, and just
go learn from people who are doing things completely different than you. I mean, that was like, I think one of the things that was so helpful for me was like the restaurant we were both working at is like so different from what we're trying to do, but we both
like
learned so
elevated
much.
French food,
and it's like, I don't know. I just feel like I wouldn't be where I am today as far as like how comfortable I feel. And like how confident I feel with like what we're doing.
And it's like,
I just said, wouldn't be where I am today.
I was like, whoa.
Really? No,
okay.
I feel like we'll cut that out. Cut that one out.
There's a little bit of uncertainty though when you go for it, because you're like, oh, I've been thinking about it, and you're like, you kind of just got to do it, and then start kind of fucking up, and then go, okay, well, I don't want to make these mistakes anymore. Is there somebody else that's doing it that I can kind of learn from, or that I can kind of get like some advice from? And I think
if you're passionate enough about anything, or if you have an idea, I think that you think will succeed, or whatever it may be, like, why not just try it? Like,
well, what's the worst that's gonna happen,
like,
right?
If you fail, like, so what? You're back to where you were before. Like,
you're still doing the same shit, working your same job,
and like
literally.
And if it goes well, then great. Then you're realizing your dream. So like, you might as well try.
Yeah, and if not, you had a good story to tell.
Yeah. But if you're not into it, if you have like some like, cash grab money idea where you're like, oh, I got this sick idea, like, that's gonna make so much money, like, you're like, but you don't really give a shit, like, don't do it. Just like, whatever. Like, you have to be really passionate and be like, like, I fucking love cheeseburgers. Like, I want this shit to work because I love them, not just to make money off of it, but like, I really want to give like a really good cheeseburger to Carpinteria, because
I feel that. I grew
up eating those, and I want those to continue. And like, that's like the main thing. It's like, it's not just about like,
and we always need more good food.
Oh, 100%. Especially that. There's always, especially in Carp, we need new food or good food, like more options.
And we're not doing anything like crazy or like rewriting the whole like cheeseburger book. It's just like, we just want to do like this one thing that a lot of people have already done, like, well, and like continue to do it well, and like that's it.
It's a good formula though.
Yeah, it's fine. Like, we're like cool with doing that. It's like, whatever. Like, I love this classic format. Fuck it, let's do it here in Carp.
Let's do it our way though. Here's what I think about it. Hey, this is good, but I like this better. Let's try to tweak it. Let's make this a little bit better. Let's get some quality meat from Santa Paula, or
elevate
the buns
it a
from
little
Oxnard.
bit, but keep it like simple and classic. That's the goal.
Yeah. I feel that. Where can people find you guys if they wanted to connect with you?
Dang.burger on Instagram.
Dang.burger.
Yeah. We do have a website that will eventually not say sold out on all of the merch.
Okay,
but
cool.
It's just dangburger.com.
I was like, cool, because I definitely think people will want to support or come out and see where you guys are at and try your stuff. Try the burgers, try the fries, try the potato chips.
Yeah.
They said no fries. They said no fries. But I do want to thank you guys for joining us. I really do appreciate it. That was super sick, guys.
Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
cheers.
And that's a wrap, as they say in showbiz.
Yeah, because I'm a big showbiz guy.